Morning, guys. Another day, and we move on to blocking. So, where we're going to put our sheathing on the outside of the wall, where the first layer, 4 feet, meets the second layer, we'll put 2x6s in there. And the way I'm going to do it, and I learned from our good friend Steve, is I'll show you. Basically, I'll measure it to the distance in here, and right flush with the outside, we'll go block all the way across here. And then the next one, so you can reach it with a screw, will go below it, or halfway below it. That way you're always got something at 4 feet to grab, and it's wide like this, so we don't have to line it up perfectly. Some people will put blocking that way, and it just makes it a lot less of a place to nail. This gives us a lot more surface. So Steve came up, our buddy who is in construction, and told us do it that way. So it's always good to ask somebody if you're not familiar. I would have done it probably this flat way, but we'll do it that way. And that way also, when you add insulation, when we're at that point, the inside wall here, we don't have these to contend with where we got to cut the insulation and then start another one. This is only 1.5 inches, so we can go right by it with a piece of insulation and be fine. So that was a good tip, and that's what we're going to do all the way around here, all 4 walls. We also have, as I mentioned at the end of the last video, the top plates. So there's going to be a second plate that goes on, and they're the lumber company that is actually right over my shoulder down at the main road. And because we're so close, they free deliver. So we got a couple of bunches of 20 footers coming, and that way we don't have as many seams up there, and it just ties everything together and makes our walls that much more stronger. So sometime today, I called in the order this morning, and they'll deliver it sometime today. So that's our agenda today. We'll start working on prepping the loft in the next day or so also, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I got a call out to the crane guy to see his schedule, and we'll get that in either, I'm hoping actually before 4th of July weekend. So I know everyone will be off then and stuff, so if we can get that, that'd be awesome. So that's our goals right now. We'll see where we get to today. It's the next day. Yesterday we did finish that blocking. Pretty didn't show any video on it because it's very it was very tedious, just cutting each one and fitting it in there and stuff. So but we got all our blocking done, and what that'll do is our OSB, which is right behind me there on the floor, some of it, those 4x8 sheets, they'll lay long ways, 8 foot behind me here, say, and 4 feet will come up to right about where those 2 pieces of wood meet. Somewhere in there the line will meet, so we'll be able to screw or nail into there, just adding that much more. When you put up your shear sheets, you want a pretty good amount of nails for each sheet. It just really strengthens the building. If you've ever built a bookshelf, one of those store-bought ones that you put together, it feels like if you stood that up without that backing on the back, it would almost just want to topple. And but once you get that little cardboard, I just remember doing those things, that little piece of cardboard, and put all those nails all around the back. I mean, the thing just stands up and will hold 200 pounds of books and stuff. So it's kind of similar to that. It just won't let this building lay down, um, in a strong wind or anything. So we did that. We also, if you see on our sawhorses behind me, those are our top plates, and we had those specifically delivered. We don't want your top plate, you want as long as you can, and what it does is just ties all those 10-foot sections of walls that we set up. Uh, it just ties them all together, so there's no like every 10 feet there's a break right there, and it just ties it, brings it all together, making it even, just that much stronger, especially because we are going to put some little stem walls, 5-foot walls on top of this before putting our rafters, and that'll create that loft in the corner, plus give us in the front of the house that cathedral ceiling look, and that's what we want. So we want a loft back here, and then a ceiling, cathedral ceiling up front, and so um, that's what those top plates. We did put the 20-foot one. We bought two 20-footers, got those up on each of the end walls, and then across here we made sure we were over our seams by 5 feet on each side at least, and most of them have it that a lot more than that, and so we'll finish those up today. We got some stuff going on in the afternoon, and it is supposed to rain by the afternoon, so we're gonna do this real quick this morning and stuff. So and then I've been in touch with our guy that's gonna lift what's laying out in the field behind me. That's the loft and the beam, and he could do it as early as Thursday early afternoon. We might try to do it depending on how much rain we get, because he's bringing a crane truck and he's got to be able to have dry soil. He can't be sinking in any mud, because that thing weighs about it's got to be about a ton that he's going to be lifting up onto here. Now he doesn't have to lift it very far, so we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that this goes well. We got hardware. In fact, that's one of our things today, is to get the screws, and tomorrow we plan on starting to get that situated for him in case we got a window on Thursday. Otherwise it'll be after the 4th of July weekend, so early next week sometime maybe we can get it done. But I was in touch with him. He does have Thursday available, so we're going to try to jump on that. We don't need the OSB on here necessarily to have that loft on there. We'd like it. We don't want to go too long without OSB starting, but if we can get this crane guy and get that, we can jump ahead and then go back to the sheer panels and put those up and get ready for our second floor and roof. So we're just trying, it's a lot of juggling and just keeping schedules going, and it doesn't help that it just seems like there's a shower in every day or something, and the more we get water on this floor, the more it'll start to deteriorate. It seems all right. There's some squishy parts, not squishy parts, but bouncy parts that we're gonna have to shear up underneath, and but so far so good. So that's where we're at. That's what we're gonna do today real quick, is finish up these top plates.
Good.
Just finishing up the last of the top plate. By the way, those clamps come in very handy to keep wood right where we want it while we're screwing it or nailing it. Say hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Morning, guys. Today we want to plan for the loft possibly going up as early as tomorrow, but as you can see, nice fog bank, more rain last night, and he needs it to be very dry for a crane to put out its legs and be able to because we're on just ground hayfield up there, so he doesn't want to sink in or anything. So we're still going to plan on that it could be tomorrow afternoon, but it's looking more and more like it'll be next week before we can get the crane here to lift that. Because if we don't get a good sun today, and it is forecasting to be cloudy, even when this fog lifts, that will probably just put it off to be safe. There's stuff we can do. Shannon and I are going to go out there and look at the loft. There's a crack in it that we got to mend. We got to make all our braces. Plus, we'd like to start sheeting this building. The more you leave it unsheeted, it's definitely, like I say, stronger with the sheeting on. It's strong now, and we had some pretty good winds last night, so and it stood that. So, but we'd like to get some sheeting on, which we can do that before next week. So that's our plan. Well, if anybody wonders, notices that I seem to wear the same sweatshirt every day. This sweatshirt maybe stays on for about a half hour, maybe an hour some days, like today or something when it's foggy and cool out. But first thing in the morning, I just pop it on, and so I'm not wearing a sweatshirt 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, the same one, but this is deemed my job site sweatshirt for going out in the morning and getting the tools out and everything, and usually it warms right up and this thing goes off, and so it doesn't last long. But I just wonder, because I start seeing our video and every morning I get the same sweatshirt and sometimes even the same hat, but hat is depending on temperature. Sometimes it's this beanie, other times it's my big hat because it's already sunny. But just if you were wondering, the sweatshirt does not stay on me all the time. Okay, I got the hardware 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here. That's the hardware. I got leg screws. I will fill every hole, 3 there, and then there's holes here, so once I pound this in, 2 will be shot in that way. So 5 of those leg screws in each of these 4. Created a beam or a plank to screw down to the beam into the surface so that doesn't sway when we lift. All right, guys, so today we've been in contact with our guy who's supposed to set this beam and our loft floor. So what we did today is put our posts up, 1 and 2 with the hardware. In that pocket up there, the beam will fit right in there, right in that one. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but we put a pink line down the center, and then it'll sit on top of where those 3 studs are together right there. And then on this side, where these 4 studs will sit right there. So that just happened to be 4 because there's a window there, and we just wanted it a little bit beefier there. So, and then we prepared the loft floor. He thinks he might be able to do it tomorrow if it doesn't rain tonight and we get everything done. So there's the beam going along there. In the loft floor we put 4 like little hook things, 1, 2, and then on the other side 2 more, and those is where he's going to hook onto. Then he'll have a chain coming from his crane, and that'll go down to kind of somewhere he thinks the front of the beam, around there, to keep that level, and then pick that whole thing up. He'll be able to tell, he says, within 6 inches of picking that up whether this is going to work or not. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. I think he's going to move it once closer to the house, then readjust his crane and lift it up and put it on there. We do have some other braces that got to go up. We'll probably do those in a little while here tonight. A couple to create a pocket up there so it slips in. We put some 2x6 little ties that those will fold up once we get the loft floor up there, and we can tie it to the rest of the house just temporarily, and then we'll sink it with nails all around and stuff. But we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 of those. We also have a ratchet strap because this is the last wall put in and it kind of was racked a little, so we brought it back and it's just sitting there. We're just keeping it on there until we start sheathing. We'll take it off, but everything seems to be pretty strong. We had some strong winds last night and everything seemed to be all right. So these posts are standing, by the way, with some bracing right here, right there, and then this way to make it level and plumb. And it ain't going nowhere. As you can see, it's not moving, so we're good. We got to temporarily brace to the floor, but we're going to get some different braces once everything's settled, probably even tomorrow, and metal bracing and put it in. But once that weight's on there, there's also posts underneath this floor in the crawl space that go down to reinforced concrete footings, so it transferred all the weight down to that. So it's not like this is just sitting on this floor and going to hold up that whole second floor. There's actually a beam or a post down below there, and it'll go down to 2 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot square of concrete reinforced with rebar that we had poured in there before, and it just transfers the load. So that's what we're doing. We're wrapping up things today, so we'll come out here later tonight too. We're going to do a laser on our side of our house to get a nice straight line. It's just lasers won't show up until it gets certain darkness, and that way that'll show where we're going to put our OSB, our sheathing, on the outside of the house. We'll make perfect lines that way, so we'll do that later tonight. Okay, here we go. He just walked this site, so he's going to bring his crane up over here, move this closer somewhere in this corner, he thinks, and then we'll raise it. So I'm going to put this on a video. All right, guys, first move done. Now it's next to the house. Nothing cracked. Didn't even hear any creaks. So the next move, though, is up 10 feet. So this is where it gets dicey. We are on ropes outside the building. So we'll see. All right. But the big thing was nothing broke apart when he lifted it a foot off the ground. So guys. Good morning. It is Friday, June, what is it, 30th? And we got a lot done yesterday. Number one was our loft and beam got put in place. That was a real good oomph to our progress and stuff. Really got us energized and stuff. So yesterday we also started our sheathing on the side, and once again, before we got rained out, we were able to do that side, this back side, and then just start right around that corner, and we were just ready to start our second section up, and the rains came in, so we were rained out the rest of the day. So anyways, what our plan is today, Shannon's friend Anita is coming over, and she's going to give us a hand. She's off today, so that's real nice of her. But we're going to play against the sun, so we're going to go to this side of the house over here, and that's keep us a little out of the sun and start sheeting these walls, and then this afternoon we'll go back and do the second on that because it'll be in the shade by then. So that's our plan today, and we might even use, thinking of trying the scaffolding out around to get up there and make it easier on us. So a little bit of trying, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, because it will go under the doorway. Don't shoot them, you know. Actually, that'll have metal flashing eventually, right? Morning, guys. Today we're gonna just do some more sheathing. Finish up the first floor. We want to get 2 layers all the way around and stuff, so we're gonna do that. Probably wrap up the video at the end of this day. But Shannon's we loaded 10 sheets and she's driving it over to the house. So that's where we're at today. All right, guys, it's early afternoon. We did sheet the front side, started that, a couple more sheets on the south side that's facing me, and we're going to continue a little bit more on the north side, get 2 rows up on that hopefully today and be done. But we're just doing a little bit more sheeting today, so I'm going to wrap this video up, but appreciate you watching it. Hit the thumbs up button, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. What we're going to do probably after the sheeting, the first thing is when that crane dropped the beam in place in the loft floor, we nailed it down and in place and stuff. He got us about 98% of the way. We just got to tweak it, make sure it's totally square and everything up there. So there might be a little bit of maneuvering, but we got a plan for that and getting that in place, and that'll probably be the next video, because then we can start the framing up there and the roof line. So that'll be a big part coming up.